Now, two men that are taking the chance and having their legacies on the line, the headliners on your card. Maybe some might say it's 10 years late, the fight, but I can't wait for it. I mean, this is literally one of the biggest, if not the biggest fight, domestic fight in Britain's history, one of the biggest grudge matches in UK history. Amir Khan versus Kell Brook. Break this fight down for me. How do you think it's going to unfold? Because I keep having scenarios in my head and how who's going to win, how the fight is going to unfold, and I have no idea. 10 years ago, we had no idea. And until this day, it's even tougher to call it right now when both aren't in their prime.
It is. And I think that's what makes it exciting for here in Britain. Like, you're either a Khan fan or a Brook fan. There's no in between. There's nobody sitting on the line. You pick a side and you have to stick with it. And I think that's what makes it so interesting. It'd be different if one was a bit more active than the other, but they've both been inactive. They're both probably a little bit past their peaks. But if there's one person that can bring the best out of the other person, it's them two, each other. So there's a million scenarios the way the fight can go. And I just think if Khan is anywhere near his best, that it's going to be hard for Brook. Yeah, it's going to be hard for Brook to land. But if Amir sometimes gets this, you know, with fighters, like with me, if you say, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do this, you can't do that, I'm like, I'm going to do it just to prove you wrong.
Chip now, people say to
Amir, people say to Amir, you haven't got a chin. You haven't got a chin. You can't take a punch. You can't. So sometimes he stands there and trades with people to please everybody else, to prove to you and to him that he has got a chin. And if he does that with Kell, that'll be his downfall, because Kell can punch. And I think
precision.
It's a boxing. Yeah, it's a boxing fight. So there is going to be a point where you get hit and everyone will be holding their breath. But I just think I can't anywhere near his best doesn't let Kell land clean like that. And if he sticks to what is his best assets, which is his quick hands and quick feet, I think Kell will struggle.
And to be fair, when it comes to Amir Khan, I mean, the man has been fighting one of the hardest hitters in the sport. You got Canelo Alvarez, you got even Prescott, the first man to defeat him back in 2012, I believe. I mean, he's also he used to be a power puncher back then. So to be fair to Amir Khan, I see a lot of criticism when it comes to his chin. Yeah, he can't absorb any shot. But let's be fair, the man's been fighting killers and such power punchers, and all it takes is in the small ounces, like 8-ounce gloves, 10-ounce gloves, all it takes is just one clean shot to... But I truly believe that when it comes to this fight, like, Kell Brook seems to be so emotionally invested in the fight. And I believe that that can also cause him a lot of trouble. Because you see, Amir Khan, it's almost like... I mean, he said that Kell Brook is kind of jealous and bitter towards him. But I kind of understand where he's coming from. But at the same time, it's like Kell Brook just wants to kill Amir Khan. I mean, he's literally just on fire right now. He wants to take his head off. So that is going to be... I can't wait. I just can't wait for that fight.
Yeah, I think with boxing, you have to be in control when you're out of control. So the first thing, if you're on the street or someone punches you, the first thing you want to do is react emotionally. That hurt, I'm going to punch you back. But in boxing, you have to be a little bit smarter.
Composure.
It's like a physical game of chess. So you have to put positions and put things in place to make your opponent do what you want. And if that's attached with emotion, them decisions are harder to make, because we've seen it at the weekend with Liam Williams. When he hates Chris Eubank that much, that he was so frustrated when he was winning the round, and he did come back and get better.
Yes,
half only because Eubank let him.
He said his left hand was injured.
Yeah, that's what he said, and he also said he doesn't want to be cut, because Williams does get a bit dirty when he's losing. He goes in with the head. We've seen him go in with the elbow. We've seen a lot of things. So, and that's the type when it's all or nothing for people like that. And when it's like that, it's a little, you're at a disadvantage, because you've got to keep your composure and be smart.